Today I'm going to show you the only apps that you need on Shopify to make yourself a bunch of money. What's going on, guys? My name's Kyle and today's a good day because you found the right video. Today we're talking about apps. I'm not talking about appetizers. I'm not talking about appetizers. We're talking about applications, things that you can put on your Shopify store, specifically dropshipping, that's going to be able to make you a little bit extra bucks. It's going to be able to retain customers and overall make you successful. But before we start, I do want to mention that at the end of this video, I am doing a $100 cash giveaway. I mentioned that in my last video, and this is something that I want to do leading up into the new year. So every single video, I'm going to be giving away $100. All you have to do is like this video, comment down below, and be subscribed. And obviously make sure to tune in for the next video where I draw the winner. So I will draw that at the very end before we close this video out. With that being said, let's go ahead and get started here. So today we're talking about applications. I know that a lot of people are giving me questions. They want to know which apps are good, which apps are bad. What I do want to say before we get started is that I do not do any of the countdown timers, any of those scarcity tactics that look spammy, that look scammy. Those are going out the window. That is not something that you want to pay attention to. It's something that you want to have in your store. It worked in the past. It did great in the past. Let's leave it in the past. We're moving forward. We're trying to be more professional. Try to stay away from those pop-up banners. Try to stay away from anything that kind of jumps at people, right? They want to have a professional experience, and that's what I'm here to do. So I've got a list of applications here, list of apps, whatever you please, and they're broken down into different tiers. You've got your beginner apps. For those people that are just starting out, I don't think you need a whole lot of things because I think people get too caught up in that. A lot of your success early is going to come from the right product with the right marketing and the right website. These apps are not going to make or break you. They will help you if you are breaking even. They are going to help you to just help convince the customer that you are the right choice. But don't make this seem like the apps are going to make your website, okay? These are supposed to help you. They're supposed to be tools. So I've got beginner apps, I've got intermediate apps, and I've got advanced apps. And I'm just going to run through them one by one, starting with beginner, moving to intermediate, and then closing out with advanced. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get started. The first one is the discounted pricing app. Now, you're gonna have a lot of products, hopefully, that people can buy multiple of, especially some of those cheaper ones, some of the ones that might be below $10, maybe even the ones that are upwards of $20, where people can buy more than one. Now, a great way to encourage that is to have the discounted pricing, right? So if you buy 2, you get 5% off. If you buy 3, you get 10% off. If you buy more than 3, you get 15% off, and so on if you want to go that high. Now, I would highly recommend that you do this. In fact, I've had multiple of my winners have this specific app on there, and it has made me profit over profit over profit, because what you're trying to do is you're trying to increase the average order value of the customer, right? I don't want to get 1,000 customers that are only giving me $10. I'd rather get 1,000 customers that are giving me $20 or $30, because then, I'm really getting a lot more return on my initial investment for advertising to get them there, okay? So I'm not gonna say any more about that. You can go and check that out. The next one is looks, and this one is extremely important because people trust people, right? They don't trust brands as much unless they have the affiliation, like the Apples of the world. It's hard for them to believe somebody. They want to hear it from the community, from other people that have bought from you. Looks is a great way to do it. It shows up extremely professional. And what I will say about looks is that you want to stay away from some of those, I guess, foreign reviews. If I hope I'm not, offending anybody, but some of the ones that are just like a sentence long, it says like fast shipping, good product. It's okay to maybe have some of those sprinkled in, but you want to have more of the longer ones that really go into detail about the product. Hopefully it's good. And you don't want to have all 5 stars. You want to include, a 4-star here, You certainly don't want to have a 1 star. You don't want to have a really, really bad one on there, but you want to kind of mix it up between the 5 and 4 stars, as well as having pictures. A picture is probably 100 times better than just a text one. Actually showing the product, that the customer got it, that it's real, and what it looks like when they're going to receive it. Now, with that being said, you want to pay attention to what sort of pictures that you're allowing on there as well. You don't want, like a broken package or something wrapped in plastic. I mean, that doesn't look good. So use your judgment and make sure you're finding good pictures. But pictures are going to be really that thing that's going to take someone that's on the fence to purchasing from you. So really pay attention to that. Let's move on. The next one, we've got abandonment protector. So people are coming to your website. If you started out, you may have seen there's a lot more people that come and add to the cart than actually check out. For one reason or another, they didn't go ahead and check out. So this is really going to be the app that goes ahead and chases them down, and it chases them early and often to try to get them to come back to check out, because there is a lot of people that lose money on that side of things. They let people sneak out of the funnel and they don't come back and remind them. And marketing is about just giving out touches, just continuing to be in front of people. Sometimes people are on the website, they add to cart, something comes up, maybe they're cooking dinner, maybe they're driving, which is not a good thing, but maybe they're at work and they get interrupted, or you never know the case. So you're just gonna be there to remind them. You have a system there that's gonna be able to remind them that they were looking on your website and they were interested because they were a warm lead. And this is gonna be a lot cheaper than spending more money on Facebook advertising to drive cold traffic, to get them to try to purchase. These people are already in your funnel and they're already interested, so you wanna do your best to be able to bring them back. Now, I'm gonna do extended video on a template that you can use, but for the sake of this video, I'm gonna keep it short. If you don't have an abandonment protector on your website, go ahead and check it out. Now, the last one that I want to do here is called Coin. Now, if you follow the strategies that I talk about on my channel in terms of Facebook advertising, you're gonna end up advertising to people outside the US, right? You're gonna target people in Canada, you're gonna target people in the United Kingdom, you're gonna target people in Australia, you're gonna be targeting people in Germany. You're gonna be targeting a lot of people in the testing phases to try to figure out which market this product is going to sell best in, right? So with that being said, if let's say that you're based in the United States, right? It's written in English, all the prices are in the US dollar, and I come there from Canada, I'm gonna feel a little bit left out, right? I'm gonna feel like I'm in native territory because I'm used to seeing, things in the Canadian dollar. So you're gonna have to have some sort of converter that's gonna be able to convert it automatically. There are some ones that are out there that you can do manually, so they can click a little drop-down box and put it into their native currency. I don't like that. I want them to be able to come to the store and boom, the prices are in their currency. So Coin is the best one to do it. It's the best free version to do it that I've experienced. I've been through a lot of different of these converters. Some of the actual themes that you can pay have this built in, but if you're using a free template, you're gonna have to do a currency converter. This is a must have. I don't think you can do without it, honestly. I mean, you can, but you won't be as successful, and it's an obvious one just to throw in. It's pretty easy to set up. I think it takes about a couple minutes. So I'm not gonna talk any more about it. You have to have it, all right? All right, let's go ahead and move into the intermediate apps. Now, this is something, these are apps that you would start to use as you gain sales. If you're not making any sales yet, you're just getting started, there isn't a lot of use for this, in my opinion. You can. It's definitely worth you sticking around just to see how why I picked these and the rationale behind it and the things that you should be thinking about if you are a beginner and you have not had your first sale. Stick around because this is still beneficial for you as well. So the first one in the intermediate category is the SEO images all-in-one. Now, I'm not too concerned about the SEO. In fact, I haven't had a lot of success with SEO from a drop shipping standpoint. It works well for an established business and all that great stuff, but ultimately SEO takes so long to develop that I wouldn't suggest it unless you're an expert or you know someone that's good at it. We're focused on, and what this channel is about, getting really itchy. I think my allergies are kicking in. We're focused on Facebook advertising and really driving sales, because that's how you can scale things. SEO is such a slow process. Yes, it's free, but it takes so long to develop. So with this app though, what I want to focus on is if you have other applications on the website, you got a lot of content on the website, you've got a lot of images on the website, and what happens is all that information really bogs down the load speed. And I know that, it may sound like, it's such a small thing, but it does make a big difference. If somebody is coming from your Facebook ad to your website and it's taking, 3-4 seconds to load, they're gone. They don't want to stick around because it's not worth it. They got other things to do. They were looking at cat videos online, liking friends' pictures or whatever the case may be, and they're trying to get out of there, right? You've already wasted their time, so they've already had a bad experience with you, and they're probably never gonna come back again. So what I would pay attention to with this app is that it condenses the amount of extra pixels. Gosh, I cannot talk today. It compresses your image so it takes all the unnecessary data and allows your website to load faster. And so that's extremely important when we're talking about having a big website with a lot of images. And as you're continuing to grow in this space, those are small things that make a big difference. But like I said, don't pay attention to it if you're somebody that is just getting started, because this is just another app to add to your store, and really unnecessary. SMS bump. This is something I've talked about on this channel. I've got a video dedicated to it that goes in depth of how you can use it, and I give you some templates on really how you can create some profits. This is going to be another abandoned cart follow-up. This is going to happen, if you're capturing phone numbers throughout somewhere in the checkout process, you're going to be able to retarget people. You're going to be able to target anyone that adds a cart, and you're going to be able to send it through a text message. This is a really underutilized application in my opinion. I see some people talking about it now, but I don't see enough talking about it. And I have had amazing success with it. If you go on my channel, you find that video, you can see how I spent, a few dollars to make thousands and thousands of dollars. Because what you're doing is you're just capturing warm leads. You want to figure out a way to capture warm leads. You spend all this money on cold targeting to try and find these people. You finally get them in the funnel, and people don't spend enough time to try to make sure that they get through all the way through the funnel. And this is another way to just kind of duplicate your efforts and make sure that you're continuing to go after people. This one does cost a little bit of money. It costs no money to add to your store, but it does cost money when you're actually sending out text messages. This one might go into the beginner category as well, but I would wait until you're getting sales, right? So don't load up all these apps. But this is a great one if you're getting a lot of traffic. So the next one I use is Klaviyo, and what I use this for is the post-purchase sequence. So what I try to do is, I have stores with a lot of purchases, right? And if you're successful and you're building your brand and you're getting people to purchase, you're gonna wanna focus on what happens after the purchase, because then you can really mine them for more money, and it doesn't cost you anything. It just costs you a little bit of time to set up. And what you're doing is you're taking somebody that's qualified, so they made a purchase in some niche. And what you're gonna do is create some automation behind it. So after they purchase it, you've got their email, right? You set up some templates of either related products as an upsell or a cross-sell or anything. You're trying to set up things that they're being sent, so then you can have them make a purchase again. And these are things that run in the background. These are things that you're making more money over time without having to spend any more money and without having to go in there and send people emails. You've got an automated sequence going out. I will make another video on that, but check out Klaviyo if you haven't already. Again, this is for intermediate people. If you're not getting sales, it doesn't make sense to create a post-purchase sequence email. The next one is Sweet Upsell. Now this one you won't find on the Shopify App Store. There are some post-purchase sequence upsells. I don't like them as much. I do like the Sweet Upsell. So this one you can actually go to Google search, type in Sweet Upsell, and basically the reason that I like the post-purchase upsell rather than the during is that you're able to have someone go through the checkout process without any friction. If I'm buying a product and I'm going to the checkout, I go to the ad cart and then I try to initiate checkout, I'm typing my information in. If somebody pops up in my, pops up on my screen and says, hey, you could add this to your product for a discounted rate today, or hey, I know you like this, well, why don't you also add this to your cart? If there's a lot of friction when I'm trying to check out, that might deter me from actually checking out. But what the post sequence does is it allows you to check out, and then once you've paid for everything, it says, hey, what about this? If you get this right now, you can get this for 20% off. And it does the same thing, but it allows that person to have little friction to get through the process. And then on the back end, after they're in the heat of the moment, they're in the heat, they're buying, then you can sell them either, you could upsell them the same product at a discounted price depending on what it is, or you could send them something that is relevant to that product. And I found this to be very successful, and I use this on all of my stores, all the ones that are making sales and that I'm pursuing seriously. I use Sweet Upsell. Now, the next one is de-essers. And I put this in the intermediate because you do not need this if you are just starting out and you are just fulfilling like a product a day or a couple products a day. De-essers is going to be mass fulfillment. So if you're getting, let's say, 20 orders a day or 50 orders a day or 100 orders a day, this is going to allow you to fulfill it without having to manually enter it in, through Oberlo or doing it yourself. And it works very, very well. Now, what I will say about this is that I would recommend going through a sourcing agent first. If you can. If you have the access to a sourcing agent, I always prefer that because you're avoiding AliExpress, right? De-essers, it works with AliExpress. It probably works from other outlets as well, but 9 times out of 10, you're gonna be working through AliExpress. I personally don't try to be on AliExpress. I think that whole model is broken. I do it for some things, so I do have some products that I do buy through there, or when I'm testing something out. I would try your hardest to get a sourcing agent because they're gonna be able to get it a little bit cheaper, hopefully. They're gonna be able to get it out the door faster to the customer, and they're going to ensure the quality. But if you cannot do that, use de-essers. That's all I will say on that. Moving on, Silk Road. This is another one that kind of on that same point that I just talked about. I've talked about this in another video as well. I will have a link to, I will have an affiliate link to this down below. This is something that I personally vetted. This is something that is in a maturation phase, meaning that it's still in its infancy and it still needs to mature over time to be extremely successful. I do like it for what it is right now. Now, what I'm talking about, if you don't know what Silk Road is, it is basically how do I say this? It's basically like AliExpress, except for it's going to be a lot faster and it's going to be very competitive on pricing. Now, they do have some options where it is 5 to 7 days of shipping, especially for the people that are in the US, and that is very fast, and it's going to be very competitive compared to AliExpress, where it's taking 4 weeks or 6 weeks to get a product out there, especially in high peak times, and people get very angry about that. People want faster shipping times, so I highly suggest checking out Silk Road. I won't beat the dead horse because I have a video on that as well that you can check out if you want a full detailed look at what that is. Moving on, we've got Frequently Bought Together. This is, again, intermediate, because if you're not getting sales already, then this is an unnecessary app that you don't need. This is an app that it makes your site look a lot like Amazon in terms of here's related products, and people are starting to get used to that. They like to add related things if it makes sense, and make sure they do make sense, because I've seen a lot of people that they send me links to their stores and they've got this on there, but it's like some random product. So make sure that you go into there and hard code it so there's automatic where it basically just recommends a product automatically. I would turn that off and do manual, and be very strategic about, here's an upsell type product that I would connect with that. And it's gonna show up at the very bottom of your web page. And I've had success with it. It doesn't cost you really any money, and it's a way to increase that average order value. Now, what I will say is that frequently bought together and the sweet upsell, I usually do the same product, so then they can see it again. Marketing is all about continuing those touches, continuing to put those products in front of people. So somebody that goes on that web page or that product page and sees that frequently bought together and sees that additional product, they might say no the first time, but they decide they want the initial product. So they go through the checkout, and then the sweet upsell happens where they see that product again and they're like, okay, wait a second, do I actually need this? And hopefully they come through and purchase it. And that's the way that I like to do, and that's the way that I've seen to be the most successful. Let's move to the advanced one. I don't have a lot in here because there's not a whole lot of extra apps you need when you get to the advanced. I mean, the advanced part happens when, on how you write your copy and how you create video ads and how you are doing your Facebook advertising, and that's what this channel is all about. But there are a few things that you can use to really take your website to the next level, take your customer support to the next level, and ultimately make you a professional business. The first thing you need to do is Zendesk. So Zendesk is a customer support really integration, and it is very spendy. I mean, I spend probably $300 or so per month per user to do my customer support. I don't do any of the live chats. That's an option in there. They have some live chat. I just do, I connect into my store. So if anybody contacts me through the form on Shopify, it'll send that form out to my Zendesk account, where I've got a virtual assistant that handles all the customer support. I've got a couple people handling, my Facebook messages and any emails that come in, and you can connect a phone as well if you want to go down that route. I typically try not to do any phones, but this allows you to connect with those customers in real time. People that want to adjust their orders, people that want to cancel their orders, people that don't understand or may have questions about the product. And really, the customer support is supposed to help you mitigate or lessen the amount of returns that you have and the questions that you have to deal with. And it also pulls people through that funnel as well, I've noticed, just by having customer support. So that's really important. The next one is order metrics, and this is going to be something that you put on the back end of your store, in your Shopify store, to just keep track of your day-to-day business, right? So you can put in the cost of your products, you can put in the cost of your your Facebook advertising, your Google advertising, whatever it is, and filter that all in there. So then, and you can put like your virtual assistant costs and everything. So you can be able to tell exactly, was today in the red? Was today in the green? Did I break even? You can tell your profit margin, you can tell how much money you're making, and it just ultimately helps you decide on kind of where the business is going, and if you should look at decreasing your product cost, if you should look at spending less on advertising, are there certain apps you're using that you don't need, and really fine-tuning it and finding a way to make you more money and to put more money in your pocket so you can go live the good life and all that great stuff. But I will say that do not put this on your store until you're probably making about $500 a day to $1,000 a day, because otherwise you should just do it by hand. Unless you're the type of person that you just don't want to do it by hand, and this seems like a better option, go check it out. Now the final app I'm going to recommend is not an app that I think that you should go into unless you really need to. I mean, this one is really a discretionary one. If you want to get more into the buyer's behavior and the psychology behind it, Lucky Orange is a way to be able to understand the heat map. So where are customers spending their time? Are they looking at, certain paragraphs more? Are they, what pages they're going to? Are they confused on things? You can tell if their navigation is confusing. Are they not finding what they need? This is an app that's going to be able to help you determine that, figure that out. But I will say, I wouldn't do it unless you absolutely think you need to. This is someone that has maybe more of a brand. This is someone that is really spending tens of thousands of dollars testing advertising and products and all these sorts of things. It's not necessary, but I put it out there. I don't use it a whole lot, but it is one of the best in the business in terms of just analyzing customer behavior and making your site better for people to use. So with that being said, I'm gonna wrap it up, but I do wanna jump to my recording of me doing the $100 cash giveaway. So let's jump to that quick. All right guys, so here we are in the lottery picker. So whoever is the person that wins gets $100 cash. I'm doing this every video. The last video was the first time I did it, so it's actually, you got a pretty good chance right here. It says 42, but that's including me replying to people, so I'm guessing maybe 10 to 20 or so. But all I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna copy this link. We'll come back to this picker. We'll paste the link in. I'm taking out the duplicates. Get the YouTube comments. It looks like we've got 16, so if you commented on my last video, you have a 1 in 16 chance to win $100 cash. And if you're looking right now and you did not get a chance to enter in the last video, that's okay. I'm doing this every video leading up to the new year, so go ahead and get yourself entered. All you have to do is like, comment, and subscribe, and you will be prepared to potentially win $100 cash. Let's go ahead and draw this winner. We got Mr. Mind Blown. Mr. Mind Blow. I've actually been talking to him on Instagram, so why don't you hit me up if you're watching this? Shoot me a DM on Instagram. We'll get you paid, and congratulations. And that's gonna wrap it up. But before you go, I am doing another $100 cash giveaway in this video. All you have to do is drop a comment below. It could be anything. Hopefully it's a productive comment. And make sure you're subscribed. And then I will do another $100 cash giveaway on the next video that's coming up. I think I'll do one next week. I'm not sure what the topic's gonna be. Why don't you leave a comment below? Let me know what you wanna see. And with that being said, I'm gonna wrap this whole video up. Until next time, peace.